If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, let me give you a rundown. Basically, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need, all in one place. Here's how it works. Anchor lets you record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. So no matter what your setup is like, you can start creating today. Then you can distribute your podcast to the most popular listening platforms, including Spotify, with a single tap. Anchor is also the only place you can publish video podcasts to Spotify. With Anchor, creators can earn money in a variety of ways, including ads and podcast subscriptions. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. That's right, it won't cost you a dime. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. You won't regret it. Welcome to Of Men, For Men. Here we'll discuss issues pertaining to the modern day man. Subjects like health, wealth, lifestyle, gear, and relationships. So join me as we dive into the world of men for men. Hello, and welcome to the Of Men, For Men podcast. I am your host, James Rodney Lee Max. Yeah. All right, man. I hope you had a great weekend, man. Hope you was able to kick back, relax, grab yourself a cool one, maybe watch a college game, NFL game, what have you. Maybe watch a little baseball. Knocking shit over here. Ooh. You know, spend a little time with your friends, your family, your loved ones, right? Oh, man. I want to talk about tenacity, intestinal fortitude, guts, will, right? Not quitting. Don't quit. Never quit. That's what we're talking about today. There's a saying, and I've used it many times, and I wish I knew. I'll have to look it up. I wish I knew who said it, but it goes, victory is always possible for those who refuse to stop fighting. Right? Victory is possible if you refuse to stop fighting. Right? And that's what I'm talking about. Don't quit. Whatever it is in your life that you like to take up. I mean, for example, this podcast, I started this thing almost 3 years ago. And I've had some ups and downs with it. And I've taken some sabbaticals here and there, but I never quit on it. It takes time to be consistent, right? It takes time. You have to, what is it? I believe you have to do something for at least 30 days for it to become a habit. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But you have to do it day in and day out, every day. You know, it's a mind over matter, right? If you don't mind, it don't matter. Right? Free your mind and your ass will follow. You have to be consistent with it. You have to turn it into a habit. Right? whatever it is. If it's you want to play guitar, you want to learn a new language, you want to learn a new skill, you're wanting to learn pottery, or learn how to draw or paint, or whatever it is, even in a professional manner, a spiritual manner, you have to keep pursuing it. You have to keep at it. And there are going to be ups and downs. But if it's something you enjoy doing, then it doesn't matter the outcome. It doesn't matter whether, like with the podcast here, it doesn't matter if I got 10,000 listeners or 10. To me, it doesn't matter. I enjoy doing it. I get something out of it. It's rewarding to me. It's not the likes or any financial gains that may come from it. It's the act of doing it is what makes it worthwhile. And sometimes, you take a little break from it, and then you realize, hey man, I missed that. I need to do that. I need to go back and do that again and again and again. What did they say? It takes 10,000 hours or something to become an expert at something. 10,000 hours. So it takes time. It takes time for you to maybe to see rewards or any success, right? When you're practicing guitar, man, at first it's difficult, man. It's hard. Your fingers hurt. It don't sound good, right? You're like, man, this is horrible. But you have to keep at it. You have to be persistent. You have to keep playing. You have to put the time in, You got to pay your dues, so to speak. Don't get discouraged. If you enjoy it, do it. Don't get discouraged because there may be a little pain involved, especially in the beginning. You have to keep following. If it's what you want, if it's your dream, you have to keep following it. The reward is in the actual doing, not some lofty goal at the end. Yeah, that may be what you're shooting for, right? You want to achieve, right? But if you're not enjoying it, if the act of doing it is not enjoyable, then that's where the loss is. It's not in just achieving the goal, because then once you reach there, then what you got, right? But it's in the act of is where you should really reap the reward. And like I said, there's going to be ups and downs in all of it. It's going to be difficult at times. It's going to be hard. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't get discouraged. Right? Keep at it. Stay strong. Stay mindful. Be dedicated. And then, sometimes when you reach that plateau, and if you keep on going, then you'll break through. You'll break through. It takes time sometimes. That's what I'm saying. It takes a little time. You're like, man, I ain't getting nowhere. I'm practicing this, or I'm doing this, and I ain't getting nowhere. Ain't nothing happening. Sometimes it's like that fella that's digging a hole, right? And he's just about to break through, but he quits just before he does. He's just about to break through, but he quits digging, gives up just before he does, just before he breaks through. You don't want to be that guy. You want to keep on. Keep on until you break through. Right? Then you've reached the next level. Then you go on and you learn more, you do more, you experience more joy, happiness, the reward of actually doing it. And then you're like, oh wow, yeah, that was so worth it. I'm glad I didn't, peter out on this thing. I'm glad I didn't quit, because if I had, I wouldn't have got this far. And it's tough. Life is that way sometimes. It's stuff's coming down on you all the time and you just want to say, man, the hell with this. I'm tired. I just want to give up. Don't give up. It's tough. Every day you got to push and drudge and get through it. Right? But it's not the big things. It's the little things. It's the little things. Like I said, that's where the enjoyment comes from. You have to be able to be present in the moment and enjoy what you're actually doing. You know, it's the process, right? It's the process. You have to enjoy the process of getting to where you want to be. Otherwise, it can be laborious. It can be difficult. It can be tough. But you want it to be a labor of love. You want to keep fighting the good fight every day so you can reach that ultimate goal that you're looking for. That's why you can't quit. You can't give up. What did Winston Churchill say? Never, ever, ever give up. And they were worried about being invaded by the Nazis. You know, I mean, they had a real reason. You know, they were some vicious people, man. I mean, that whole thing fascinates me. Man, what a time! It was crazy, man. And a literal world war. I mean, countries all over the place, battling it out, and we fixing to be another one, right? We fixed it. We could be facing some nuclear fallout. Hell, who knows? So enjoy the day. Enjoy each and every day. It's a Monday, right? Wake up today. Be fresh. Be fruitful, right? Seize the day. Enjoy the day. Enjoy the process. We not promised tomorrow. We only have today. Enjoy it. And don't give up. Don't give up. It's a day-to-day thing. But if you keep at it, you'll be successful. You'll win in the end. It's always that persistence. It's the dedication. It's the will to win, to succeed. Sometimes you have to will yourself through it, But that's what'll get you through. So that's why you don't quit. That's why you can't quit. Some of you may be having people depending on you. And you can't quit for their sake. Not for your sake, but for theirs. But again, then that's a labor of love. It's hard sometimes. I understand. It's difficult. It's difficult, especially in these are trying times we live in. I never thought I'd be seeing this country and this world going through what it's going through. Never thought I'd see anything like this. Everything is upside down. Everything that's wrong is right. Everything that's right is wrong. It's crazy. But we can't give up. We have to keep going. We have to fight the good fight. And it'll be okay. In the end, it'll all work out. All right? Thank God the good Lord's in charge, not us. But we have to do our part, right? You can't sit back, kick back, and relax and just say, okay, the hell with it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. See, excuse me. That is where evil gets its victory. By sitting back, kicking back, and doing nothing. Good men doing nothing. Right? Then you just as guilty. But that's okay. that's another episode. That's another deal altogether. But again, whether it's something personal, whether it's something spiritual, whether it's something professional, relationship, whatever it is, don't quit on it. Do the best you can with what you have. Be persistent. Be consistent. And ultimately, whatever the outcome is, even if it doesn't come out the way you want it, you'll know you gave it your best shot. You know you gave all you had. You were consistent. You put in the time. You were faithful. With your time, your energy, your attention, and your money, right? Your team. You brought your team and you put it out there on the ball field, right? back to the sports analogy. You took your team out there on the field and you gave it all you had, and if you won, you won. If you didn't, then you had a satisfaction of knowing that you did the best you can. Everything is not successful. I'm not saying just because you keep fighting and keep putting in it that you are going to be, like I said, it's going to be tough sometimes. And sometimes it ain't a sprint, it's a marathon. You have to see it all the way through. Because you may be sucking wind, halfway through. But then all of a sudden you catch that second wind, and then all them people that's way ahead of you, then they start falling back, right? They start falling back. They start falling, you passing them. But that's because you stuck it out. You were consistent. You kept at it. I remember when I was going through air assault school. We had a 10-mile road march with all kind of, you had about 100 pounds of gear on, plus a weapon and all that mess. And the first part of it's flat, and then once you kind of get off the main drag, then it's up and down, up and down, up and down, and that meant, good God. And then you kind of do a big circle, then you come back out where you started, and then it's kind of flat again. Now, I didn't know that at the time. I'd never done that march before, never been on that course. But for the first mile and a half, I just double time, because it was flat, right? Double time, I'm trucking it. Shuffle, airborne shuffle. I ain't stretching it out or nothing, but, airborne shuffle. I'm double time. Like stripes. Boom, chugga-lugga-lugga, boom, chugga-lugga-lugga, boom, chugga-lugga-lugga, boom. All right, and then you reach the part where you get off the main drag, and then, now you actually getting down into the course. I'm like, oh, hell. Right? So then, I'm still kind of, chugging along, but then it starts to go up and down, up and down. I'm like, okay, this ain't going to work. So then I reach down and grab the gear, I break it down a notch. So then I just want to keep a nice, steady pace. Not too slow, not too fast. Good, steady pace. Up and down. Some people were running down, and then they'd be dragging back up. They'd run down and drag back up. I just steady. Steady up, steady down. Steady up, steady down. They'd pass me, I'd pass them. But eventually, especially towards the end, they was wore the hell out. All that damn running. And that's beating your feet, when you're running downhill. And then you try to walk uphill, see? So I was just steady, up and down, because there's hills and all kind of shit. But then eventually you come back out and you're like, oh shit, this is back where we was. And I know the distance back and that it's flat. So as soon as I got off that course, got up on the main drag, and I'm on flat ground, I almost took off. I almost took off in a flat run, even though I was beat, but I knew how far I had to go, and I was right there at the end. And I did it. It was just under
2 hours, just over 3 hours, something like that. I was one of the first dozen across the line. Some of them, do it under 3 hours, but I was right around that mark, a little under, a little over. I forgot. It's been so long ago. But there was, 10, maybe 12 guys already there. There was probably infantry dudes, and I wasn't infantry. And God, boy, but when I hit that ground, when I crossed the line and knew I was good to go, and I hit that ground, stretched out, man. Oh God, what a relief! What a relief, man! Because I had made the goal. I had stuck it out. I had persisted up and down, steady Freddy, right? I had made it. And then shit, we had another, 30, 45 minutes, other people dragging their ass up in there, And I was stretched out, just relaxing, kicking back, because, you are sore. You are hurting. You're a hurting unit at that point. Drinking water, like it ain't nobody's business. But I made it. And that was just by not giving up, not quitting. Right? It's a tough course. They call it the 10 toughest days in the Army. I don't know. I've never been to Ranger School or, any Sears School or any of those other kind of elite programs. But I'm sure they're just as tough, if not tougher. Right? But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Just be steady. Stick it out. Be consistent. All right, gentlemen. That's about all I have. All right. Start this Monday out, with fresh eyes and fresh feet. Oh, I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate you listening. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Gab, and locals. All right. Of Men for Men podcast. You can reach me at ofmenformen@gmail.com. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so. Channel, podcast. You can do so on the very app you're using right now with a support button. You can donate as little or as much as you like. It's all appreciated. I've been toying with trying to put this behind a paywall, but I don't want to do that. I want you to have access to it. Anybody who's, willing to listen for a few minutes, rather than make it paid. But sometime down the road, I might have to do that. I don't know, but I'll let everybody know in advance before that happens. But we gonna keep chugging along. Boom chugga lugga lugga, boom chugga lugga lugga. I have been James Rodney Lemax, and you have been great. Yeah. All right.
This will be a weekly podcast. You can find it on the Anchor app and anywhere podcasts are available. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. I look forward to seeing you there.